Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to look at Python programming and doing some string manipulation. We're going to go through 5 exercises using basic slicing techniques. Really important stuff to learn. So, task 5, string slice 1. Let's have a look at that. And on this side here, on the right hand side, there's some information about slicing. The fact that a string has got indices, an index number for each letter. So the first letter of a word, the first letter of a string is 0, and you can access it by typing the variable name and then in square brackets the number that you want. The example that I've given here, if name was equal to Tina, then you could print name 2, and 2 is, well, that's 0, that's 1, so the n is position 2 there. Okay, so that would print out the letter n. So with that sort of information, we can start off and do this task. Okay, and the task says, write a program that asks for a string using the prompt, enter your name. The program should print out the first letter of the input string using the format the first letter is, and then whatever that letter is. It's important that we get that formatting correct, otherwise it will fail the automatic testing. So I'm going to do that now. And here, it's got comments in there for me already. So get the name from the user using the correct prompt. So I'm going to type name is equal to input and then enter your name. And I've got a colon and a space after that because that's what it's got in the example there. So I'm doing exactly right. Then the next thing is print out the first letter of the name. If that comment wasn't in there, you should type that comment yourself. You should comment your code up. So here I could simply print the first letter is, and then I'm going to put the plus symbol there, and that means concatenation. That's when you glue 2 strings or more together. And then I'm going to do word, then brackets, and I want the first letter or the first character, which is the 0th item, and so that should work there. If I run that, enter your name, and I'm going to do the one in the example, Tina, and oh, so I've made a mistake. It says name word is not defined, so word's not defined, and I've used the wrong variable name here. It should be name, and I've typed word there for some reason. I've done that because I use word a lot as well. So I'll change that to name. So that's me doing a bit of fault finding by myself. Okay, and so enter your name. I'm going to type Tina, and the first letter is T, and that should be correct. So that's great. An alternative strategy to that is we could have got the first letter by typing something like first is equal to name 0, and then it's a tiny bit tidier. And if you were going to use that first letter a lot, then why not have it as a variable itself? This will do exactly the same thing here. First letter is T. I'm going to keep that one, and I'm going to hit submit and see if that works. And yeah, it's passed the automatic testing. And then when you've done that, you get to see the model solution as well. So the model solution is there, and this model solution is exactly as I've entered previously using the simple one-line approach there as well, name 0. Okay, so we've done that, and we'll go back to the classroom and do the next task. And the next task is string slice 2. And here it says test the length of the input data, so I'm going to have to read that. Write a program that asks for a string using the prompt enter your name. The program should print out the first and last letters of the name in capitals. Alright, okay. However, if the name entered is less than length 2, the program should print out an error message. Error, name entered is less than 2 characters. Okay, and it gives us hints there about upper. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get somebody's name using input, and then the appropriate prompt, enter your name. Okay, and it says here test the length because we don't have to do anything else really. If the length is wrong, then we print out, if the length is less than 2, then we print out this error, name entered is less than 2 characters. So here I'm going to go if the length is wrong, we're going to less than 2, we're going to do something, and then if that's not the case, we'll be doing something else. So this is going to be an if else statement. So if len of name is less than 2 colon, press enter, and then we print out that exact message there, print open brackets error name entered is less than 2 characters, and I've got to spell it correctly, otherwise I'm going to make a mistake and it's not going to work. So so I've got that bit there. I'm going to run that now. I'm not going to run all the automatic tests. I'm just going to run it, and I'm going to type the letter A, error, name entered is less than 2 characters. I'm going to run it again, and this time I'm just going to press enter, error, name entered is less than 2 characters. I'm going to run it once more. I'm going to type Bob, and then it's not printed anything out because Bob would be fine. Yeah, okay. And now we've got an else statement here. So there's a little bit to this stuff. Okay. And now what we want to get is we want to get the first letter and the last letter, and you could do this in a longhand way. I'm going to do it longhand for a second, so I'm going to type in here first. The first is not a keyword, it's just a suitable variable name. First is equal to name 0, okay, but then I'm going to go dot upper, and it says here with the hints dot upper open brackets, close brackets, and I'm going to actually print out that I'm going to print that out because that's a bit of testing for me. And so here, enter your name, and I'm going to intentionally do Bob by a lowercase b at the start, and I'm hoping it's printed off an uppercase B, so that works. Now the next thing I'm going to do is get last. Now last is equal to name, and there's a couple of different ways to get last. So another interesting point or tip is the final index is always at the length of the string -1, but you can also get to the last by going -1. Yeah, so here I could have done len name -1, and that would give me the last. Let's find out if that works. I'm going to type in my name. I'm typing it in lowercase just now. That didn't do anything because I don't have a print statement there, so I need to print out the last. Enter your name, and that's got the G, great. Now the next thing we need to do is go dot upper, and I'll do that again. And that's not worked because I forgot the brackets at the end. It's done something weird there, and that's because I forgot the brackets. So if you forget the brackets, it will not work. And that's got the G uppercase, so that's great. So that works, and that uses the hint that we had here. There is another way to do it, a simpler way, and that's with negative indexing, which is this. I'm going to test that as well. So here, negative indexing is starting from the other side, so the last letter, and having -1, -2, -3, and that's explained in the next. I'm just going to run that again. That's explained in the next lesson. So that gets a G as well. I'm going to keep it like that. Next thing I need to do is I need to make, I'm going to call it result, is equal to first plus last, and then I'm going to print, and what format does that ask for? It just asks for the thing to be printed out. So here I'm going to do that. Run that. Enter your name. So if I type that, CG, perfect. I'm going to submit that and see if it works. Yep, that works fine. So you can see here, if the length is less than 2, print an error message. Else, get the first letter get the last letter, making it into uppercase, group them together, and then print it out. Let's have a look at the model solution. And the model solution, it's got it the other way around, which is fine. And here it's saying if the length of the name is acceptable, it's going to print out those things together, else it will print out the error message. Okay, so that's that task carried out, and that is my dog barking. So, string slice task 3. And with this one, as I said, it does talk about reverse indexing, so it explains to you that whilst we could have called, if you have a string called Tina, then you could say that T is at position 0, but also you can work from the other side and say that the A is from -1 and it's -2 and so on. Okay, so that's an easier way to do that task. So the task is write a program that asks for a string using the prompt, enter your name. The program should print out the last letter of the name in lowercase. So if somebody enters Tommy in uppercase like that, it would print out Y. However, if the name entered is less than 1, an empty string, the program should print the message, error, name is an empty string. And it tells you here, hint 1, lower, open brackets, close brackets, and hint 2, you can get the last character by using reverse indexing, which is much easier than the alternate method that we looked at in the last lesson. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the user input using the appropriate prompt, and it's enter your name. Now sometimes you'll get away with it if your prompt is a little bit incorrect. There's somebody last week who was typing uppercase when they should have done lowercase, but not always. So and so here it's an if-else statement. If the length of the word, in this case it's name, is less than 1, so we could say equal to 0, then we're going to print the error message. Error, name entered is an empty string. Okay, so we've got that there, and I'm going to run that, and I just pressed enter. Error, name entered is an empty string. I'm going to run it again, and it's not done anything there, so that's great. Next thing, I'm going to have an else statement to deal with the good stuff, the thing that's correct, and I'm going to just go print. I'm going to go straight into a print, and I'm going to print out name, get the last character, which is -1, dot lower, and so hopefully that should work. So if I type Tommy, press enter, it's done a lowercase y, and so that works fine. If I hit submit, it's passed all the tests, and so that's the third task. String slice 4. So here the task is write a program that asks for a string using the standard input, enter your name. The program should print out the second, third and fourth letter of the name all in uppercase. If I enter Charlie, it would print out the H, the R and the H, the A and the R. Okay. If the name entered is less than length 4, the program should print out the message, error, name entered is too short. Okay, so the usual thing, we should be getting good at this. My typing should be better. My typing should be much better because that's a capital N there. Okay, and then we're going to test this again, and here, if length of the name is less than 4, print, and the error message, I'm copying it out straight away. Error, name entered is too short, and here I could test that straight away, and that'd be a really good idea. If I type DA, name entered is too short. If I type CAR, name entered is too short. if I type CHAR, then that's fine. It would print out the HAR in uppercase, and that's what we're going to do. And so here, a good time to read the tutorial is for this. It starts, we can take a slice of more than one character by the start point is 1, which is the I, and the end point is 3. Now the third is 0, 1, 2, 3 is the A, but the interesting thing with this slicing technique is it doesn't take the last number. So it would take that 1 and the 2, position 1, position 2, so that thing there would print out IN. Okay, so it takes the character at position 1 and the character at position 2, but not the character that's defined at the end position. So we need to know that. So I'm going to do an else, and then I'm going to print out name, and here it's going to be the first, the second, the third, like that, dot lower, and don't forget to close the brackets. Sometimes I forget to close the brackets, and that should work. And I always test it with whatever is said here. So here it's got Charlie, and I'll enter Charlie there, and it's done HAR, and it should have done uppercase HAR because I've gotten mixed up. It should be all in uppercase, so I need to change that to upper. I'm going to run that again. I'm going to run it with Charlie. HAR, so that works. I'm going to submit that, and it's passed all the tests. And so we are on to the last part, which is the string challenge, string slice challenge. So this is going to be more difficult. Okay, write a program that asks for a string, enter your name. Well, I'm going to do that straight away. And then it says the program should print out a string that contains all letters except the first and last, all in uppercase. However, if the name entered is less than length 2, the program should print an error message, error name is too short. Well, that bit's easy enough, so I'm going to do an if length of the name is less than 2, then I'm going to print that error message, and I need to print the error message out carefully. Error name is too short. Okay, as always, I'm going to test that now. I'm going to test that, and I'm going to just type a single letter. So it says here name is not defined. That's because I've got a syntax error here. Nothing wrong with spotting your syntax errors yourself, fixing it yourself. You need to be able to do that. So enter your name, and I'm going to type single letter, error name is too short. I'm going to run it again, and then with 2 letters, that's fine. So now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to do an else, and I need to grab, let's see what it says here, all the letters except the first and the last. So how could I do that? Well, I could, and I'm just going to go straight into this because I can get to the first letter by typing that is the first letter, and on here I don't want to get to the last one, so I need to stipulate the last place, and that would be len name -1. And that should work there, and then I'm going to go dot upper. Okay, starting at the first and finishing at the last, but not including it. I'm going to run that, and I'm going to use Charlie as an example, and yeah, it's done Harley. I'm going to run it again. I'm going to use Bob, and it's done that over there. I'm going to run it again, I'm doing Joe, so I'm running through the examples here, and it's printed out an empty string. If I enter A, and now I've done this already, but I'm going to do it again. Error name is too short. Okay, so that's the programming task there, the challenge. I've got a mismatch here. Teacher expect to see that. Name entered is too short. So I'm going to keep trying. It's the word entered. So here there was an error. Now it says name entered, and I just said name is too short, and it's entered. So I'm glad I spotted that mistake. I'll submit that now, and it's passed all the tests. Okay, hope this video was useful to you. These are massively important string manipulation tasks. Keep coding, and I'll speak to you later.